For whom the bell tolls. The bell tolls for thee. This sacred practice I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh. When the bell rings, we stop and we go within. And as the calligraphy says over my head, we affirm, I have arrived, I am home. He said this is the one practice that we need, because all that exists is present moment. So the past falls away. The future is not tempting us with a fantasy. We have arrived in the sacred now. And we breathe. We trust. This is where we find the peace that passes all understanding that the Bible speaks about. This is where we experience the love that knows no other, because there is no other. There is only the love, and we are all that love. God is love, as it says in the Bible, and when we are loving, we are being God-like. And so we come here to experience our true nature. It's like the waves in the ocean surrender their wave nature and they just become the ocean of love. And when you realize that it is all that way, then wheresoever I look, I see the face of love. And we smile. We have arrived in a love that knows no other. It experiences itself as other. And then we close with that little song, I am you, you are me, we are one. And in that unity consciousness, we live in harmony, and peace arises because there is no other to be at war with, to judge. And then we hear the sound of the world outside. How are you doing? And the world is calling. But we can carry our peace and our light into the world, knowing that there are no accidents. And if you're lucky, maybe a jack will come into your life. A little boy who is magical. And so we breathe in. We breathe out, and we open our eyes. I'm so excited this Sunday. Number one, because I'm finishing up my series for this month called the Endless Practice. And there is no end to the practice, y'all. I'm 77, and it's going to keep going on for another 77 years, as Megan told me, because we don't get to some place and we're done. No. We get to practice it every moment because all we have is the moment. Isn't that glorious to know? And the good news is that there's less of you, there's more of it. And it, by it, I mean the light. I am a light in the world, and I shine and I shine. So could we know ourselves as beings of light? And I'm going to speak a lot about the light today. And that light moves through us. And so we have a young man I'd like to start our service off with. His name is Dusty Doyle. And he has a lovely story about how he was taken to music because of the challenges in life. And sometimes the things that are the challenges that we might say are the quote bad things, they become the transformational things. And so what if we could rethink how we approach life? You know, I've had many metaphorical crucifixions. Things have had to fall away in order for me to be sitting here in front of you. And I'm so blessed by that. And so I'm going to invite Dusty up to set the tone today so he doesn't have to worry about it later. And Bob and Kelly are going to assist him. And this is a song that you wrote, is it not, Dusty?
It's a cover.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, it's called Peace of Mind, right?
That's correct.
Okay, good. I'm going to sit up here with my pen with. And watch.
That was weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. 2, 3, 4. Riding slowly to the 69, and my friend keep in mind, road is long but it will be fine. I got wind in my face, eyes are glowing with my rays. I can see the green fields, smoke is buzzing from the matchstick, and I know where the peace of mind is. Da, 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 da. Peace of mind. Come, my friend, right till you hear this is not the end. 16 steps to raise your mind, build your spirit, walk into the shrine. I went round, 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 round to see the things around and find home. I'm just waiting till the right time when I ride on my little bike, and I know where the peace of mind is. Da, 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 da. Peace of mind. See the birds flying on the trees, walking in a world. You see the creatures live in nature. You see the sun rays kiss your face a little. See the fields through the edge of trees. Listen to the sounds, the smells, the colors of the pictures around you. Feel the changing of the season. I know where the peace of mind is. Da, 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 da. Peace of mind. Come tonight, riding slowly to the 69, and my friend keep in mind, the road is long but it will be fine. I got wind in my face, eyes are glowing with the fire rays. I can see the green fields, smoke is buzzing from the matchstick, and I know where the peace of mind is. Da, 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 da. Peace of mind. I know where the peace of mind is. Da, 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 da.
This is a silent applause. But I think we can give a little. Thank you, Dusty. That peace of mind. Sometimes it's hard to find. Okay. So this, for those who haven't been here before, this is my spirit animal, the penguin. And you know, I've studied so many different paths spiritually, and when I was in Atlanta, God knows, 40 years ago, they had a shamanic teacher there, and he came to talk about the wisdom in nature, and he said, everybody has a spirit animal, and what is yours? And I thought, well, I wouldn't know, mine maybe is a gazelle, because I was a dancer. I didn't. So he took us into a meditation, and you went into the lower world, and you're in this deep meditation, and then they ring the bells and the chimes, and they say, call forth your spirit animal, call forth your spirit animal. And I'm expecting a gazelle to come leaping over the fields, and out waddles a penguin. And I'm thinking, this cannot be. This cannot be. And then you're supposed to ask your spirit animal questions. And I said, how are we going to get world peace? And all of a sudden, the penguin showed me that he was with all the other penguins, and they were taking care of each other. And then I said, and when there's problems, what are you going to do? And then the penguin slips down the thing, and he's going into the water. I mean, every question I asked, the penguin had the answer for it. And so when I came out of the meditation, and we were in this room with all these people, we said, now to strengthen this relationship you have with your spirit animal, we're going to play some music, and you get to dance your animal. So they're playing this music, and there I am waddling all over the room as the penguin. Anyway, so he's still with me. I don't know. I think Barbara Rollins gave me this, and he's all over my house. When Jack was there, he said, there's a penguin here, and there's a penguin. I said, yeah, he's everywhere. The penguins are all around the fireplace. Trey took the wood-burning stove out, so now there's the fireplace sitting with all my penguins around it. Maddie would love it. I mean, they're just, and you know, you work with what is. I'm excited about this series that I did this month. It's called The Endless Practice, because it never ends. I mean, when I was a brand new minister, Maddie was a little girl, and she'd come running up the thing and throw herself in my arms. I expect you to do it, Jack, but I don't stand at the door anymore, because it takes all kinds of people. It takes the old, it takes the very young, and we're all in this together. And you know, I love this evolutionary process. How you're not done. Babette, it's never going to end. And it's so exciting to know that. You know that. Anyway, so the first week I spoke about it's always beginning. You show up for the moment. The moment is what you have. The past is over, and you're always living in present moment awareness. The second week I talked about the exchange that brings us alive. I need to be around crazy people like Adam, because it brings me alive. Because when we're there, we listen to the birds. We're having a relationship with the moment, and boy, can the moment be rich. And then the third week, we talked about the reliable truths, the truths that set you free. And it's important to have those truths that you can fall back on. This too is good, this too is God, and I demand to see the blessing. That's a reliable truth. A reliable truth is all suffering is simply a resistance to what is. So if you resist it, Miss Megan, you're going to suffer. So you stop resisting it, and then you learn to fall into the deepest acceptance. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I guess they tried to shoot the president this morning. I woke up to that and I said, oh, turn off the news. Anyway, they didn't succeed. So, and he voted whoever he was for Kamala Harris. So now that narrative's out in the world. And I said, okay, I'm going to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the thing I can, which is hopefully my response and not reaction, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we're in this life, and Adam and I talk about this all the time. We're having a yard sale next Saturday. We were going to have it this Saturday, but the forecast was pouring down rains, and the rains didn't come. Well, c'est la vie. My garden didn't get watered. I pulled out the hose, and you accept the things you cannot change, and we're still going to have it, and it's going to be next Saturday, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. And so this week, the last week of this series on the endless practice, is resolve to evolve. That's kind of like a resolve to evolve. Dusty, resolve to evolve. In other words, we all have to evolve or devolve. So, Megan, you know what it was like in the old church. Do you want to evolve or devolve? You know, I shared with this woman that I just saw the other day, and she was asking me about the Christian belief systems and are we Christian? And I said, I got that question when I'd had a heart attack and I was supposed to go to the heart center to have an evaluation. They called it a stress test. And I thought, can't you just call it a simple heart evaluation? No. So I go there and I'm a little nervous about the name of the test, sitting in a room like this with old people. And this young pretty thing like you, Megan, sits next to me. And I said, Miss, I think you're in the wrong room. And she said, I'm here with my mother. I didn't want her to be alone. I said, well, what a sweet thing to do. A child who's going to be with her mother when she has to go through this stress test. And she said, oh, you're such a nice person. What do you do for a living? And I said, well, I'm a minister. And she said, are you a Christian minister? And I said, well, the Christians would say no, because we don't have Jesus as our personal savior. She says, well, you do know you're going to burn in hell, don't you? And I said, you know what? Jesus would never have said that to me. But thank you for my first stress test. And I said, I'm going to sit over here if that's okay with you. And I thought, what a gift that was. Now, I could have taken it personally. I thought I'm going to burn in hell. But I know that Jesus never did that sort of stuff. So if you can take the stuff that life gives you and have a way of meeting it without reacting to it. Now, part of me wanted to say, would you say that to a Jew? Would you say that to, no, I'm not going to go down that path, Miss Susie Blake. I'm going to just say, thank you for giving me that gift. One of my great teachers was John O'Donohue. Oh, and he's no longer on the planet. But I swear to God, he lives in me, because he was a Franciscan monk, no, a Benedictine monk. And when he went to the monastery, he had to leave. He said, there's too much sin here. I can't take it anymore. So he's one of those that left the Catholic Church and found his own voice. And of course, it's a voice that spoke to my soul. And this is called the invisible embrace of beauty. When you see God in the smallest of things, he who can see God in the smallest of things, Jack, is better than seeing an angel. So if you can see beauty in the bunny rabbits hopping along the road, I mean, we were walking down a Panoply on Friday where they were setting up, and Trent and I took this path, and there were all the mallards there. And I love to see the baby ducks. And all of a sudden there was one little female duck sitting there, and she got up and there were like 10 little baby mallards all around. I said, oh, look at the little baby ducks. I was just, so I didn't want to go see Panoply, but I did want to see the baby ducks. So he talks about the beauty that's everywhere. And he refers to it as the light of spirit shining through everything. And I'm going to talk about the light today because what we are light beings. And so this is John O'Donohue. I wrote on here, resolve to evolve. He says, many of the most luminous gifts in our lives arrive by complete surprise. Every gift has an inner lamp that casts a brightness over an undiscovered field of the heart. I use that metaphor. It's creating a light in our heart, Miss Megan. And he says, and in this light, we discover and bring to birth something that is new within us. So this is the place of our evolution. We get to know that we're light beings, and yet we have this form, but it's the light that shines through you, my little cupcake, that I'm enchanted with. So he says, sometimes it's difficult to know when you're getting a gift. Its arrival is often a shock to you, like that young lady telling me I'm going to burn in hell. At the beginning, it might seem to be the furthest thing from a gift that you could ever imagine. And then later on, you really do see that it was a gift. Holy cow. So we forget that the darkness of the unknown within us is also the fecund. Fecund is that dark place before life comes, is the fecund soil, urgent with seeds of new possibilities. So something has to die in order for something to burst forth. Anybody been there besides me? So when we let it die, something can emerge. The beauty of these gifts is the secret way it awakens us to growth. We can either grow Babette or we can be a bitter person and stomp our feet and storm out of the room. And a lot of people choose to do that. But my twin sister never did. And boy, did she have a lot of fecund moments. Dare we say that? The gift has placed us on the path of change almost before we even realized it. So we're being asked to change and evolve, Michael. Oh, get a smile. He's so sweet. Like a parent to our soul, the gift carries us carefully over the torn ground until our feet can stand free in the serene place where we can recognize that we have just been blessed. Everything fell away, Richard, but we can find the blessing, and we do the ho'opono. When I first met this beautiful man, he came in and he said, I live in the ho'opono, which is a sacred Hawaiian prayer. Forgive me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Thank you, and I love you. Forgive me for judging you as being bad. Thank you for being in my life. I'm sorry that I held you out of my heart, and I love you. It sets us free of any place of judgment. So, what if we could do that in all life's crazy moments of growth? Or perhaps you are looking back over a time as you would look through an old drawer and you come upon something that you had put away years ago. You rediscover there is a gift there and you enter again into its wonder. This is one of the lovely capacities of our memory, the reawakening of a new blessing through the rediscovery of an old gift that maybe we forgot and stuck it in a corner. It is this process that animates our faith. And I've had so many talks with all of you, and Megan told me the beautiful scenarios from Beautiful Jack's birth. And so sometimes, what if we, anyway, I was thinking New York City, there was a song that says, you can't get loving where there ain't any love, just like you can't get honey where there ain't any bees. And I was young and looking for love in all the wrong places. And then I remember going out into the garden and I had my headset on and I'm digging in the garden. And all of a sudden, Ella Fitzgerald starts singing, embrace me, my sweet embraceable you. Embrace me, you irreplaceable you. Just one look at you, my heart grew tipsy in me. You and you alone bring out the gypsy in me. And all of a sudden, my shovel falls over and I'm crying in the garden because I'm feeling a love from something bigger. And I didn't have to go looking for it. It was me telling me to love me out of the clear blue. So what if you get these little life moments that wake you up to a love that never went anywhere? We don't have to find it in the world. We can find it digging in the garden. So he goes on to say, oh, I'm going to leave him alone for now. I'm going to close with his prayer at the very end of the book. Boy, it will lighten up your soul. John O'Donohue. But I went to the source of this whole month, which is Mark Neep of The Endless Practice. And he talks about being at this stage of life. He survived cancer, Raul twice. He nearly died. And I'm going to start you where he's sitting with his father at his father's deathbed. I was privileged to be both with my dad and my mom when they made their transitions. And it was a sacred time, both times. It was a conscious letting go. And he's with his dad at his deathbed. And it literally awoke the light, the mystery. It wasn't a bad thing, it was a sacred thing. And so when my time comes, whoever's holding my hand, this is what it's going to look like. As I hold my father's ancient hand with my own, which looks just like it, because he was in his 70s when his dad died, and God knows, maybe in his 90s. And he said, all I see is my face in his face as he sleeps. His words now rest like pebbles. He's had a stroke, he can't speak. His words now rest like pebbles, trapped under his stroke-heavy tongue. My father doesn't know of these things, but he's living them all the same. I only know that when brought this close by love, the veils that tell us that we live separate lives is now torn and it falls away. We're not two separate beings. And holding his hand until he wakes, I feel that we are the one life that floods through all of us. So this experience, which seemingly could be a bad one, takes him into an awareness of oneness, the one life forgiven. Everything leads us to this. We are all living one life with a capital O and a capital L. We are living the one life. Is that too big of an idea, Babette? It's all the one life. We each carry as far as we can, and love is the touch, the handoff that relays the one life into the next carrier. Yet beautifully, while in this life, we're thrown together by experiences until facing each other and holding each other, the one life kisses itself. And that brief kiss of oneness bestows us with the flicker of great peace and great knowing, which lets us feel larger than our terrible, deeper than our dream, and humbler to be a part of something uncontainable. We're forced to withdraw the map of our knowing, the river of time. Ooh. So entering the last quarter, which is, he's in his 70s now, what unexpected shifts must await? What disguises will grief and wonder use to bring me closer to this mystery of oneness? What will I gain for each thing that I lose? What foundations? And you're living in the question, your mind is 10 times more active. So he's asking these questions. What foundations will I find under all that gives way? What small destiny will I trip into when inhabiting the gift of what is? What small destiny will I trip into when I fall into the gift that I've been carrying around since my birth? And what will I learn that I can't put into words when I stop seesawing between life and death, joy and sorrow, and peace and fear? I only know that life is precious when I can live beyond the story of my circumstance. Strangely, the closer I am to death, I am really closest I can be to life. So die daily to be born again in this awareness that it's not about me, it's about this one life that's living. And so at those kind of sensitive moments where it seems to be falling away, it's taking us into something that doesn't die. I was having a conversation with this young man who lost his dog recently, and I've had the experience of losing all my pets except for the little pug now. And everyone was a sacred transitioning into the light. Everyone. And so I see that I'm endlessly surprised by this. I believe that each new sensitivity is a result of a worn part of us falling away, and what's left becomes even more essential. I am letting go of the things that no longer serve me. And as I'm letting go, I am healed, I am made whole. So what is it we need to let go of that might be binding us in a constriction of the me person? He says, this is the inner process of aging, an inner process of letting go of the deepest acceptance of what is. And when we stand beside a river, it is we who call behind us downstream and also call ahead of us upstream. There we're standing by the river of life. And, you know, my beloved Susie, we've had such a rich past, but we also have a dynamic future. And we're at that edge of the moment. The river is simply flowing in all places at the same time. It is always present and it is always eternal. Skipping down, he says, it seems that aging is the realm of light, not fire. And what matters is always right near to us. What matters waits for us to stop thinking, like an old quiet friend, soft as a feather that tells me a bird was here. There is this gentle presence that's always waiting for our recognition. So let me say this very slowly. The fate of being human is that our spirit is revealed like the arc of a comet. The outer surface of our life is worn away as we move through time, and our center gets brighter as we fall through the years. Living through the time that we're given, we keep becoming more essential until all that is left of us is light. I shared with you that I was privileged to be at Vandana Sravasana's deathbed, and she was struggling with the last bit of her life. And I said, Vandana, let's both get into the light body. And I said, I recently experienced that at the Vedic hymn of creation, that what we are is light beings. And so she nodded her head. And so I'm going to slip into my light body. I invite you to slip into your light body. I said, are you there? And she nodded her head. And so let me put my arms around you and I'll dance you into the light where Krishna's waiting for you. And she said, I said, do you feel me? And she nodded. And we danced, and we danced, and we danced. And she took one deep inhalation and let go. And she was in the light. And then this smile rigor mortised on her face. Maddie, she just like this. She was in the light. I know I sound crazy, and I am. So he goes on to say this. We become so preoccupied with the one difficult feeling that it becomes our guide or our dark master. Oh, he's talking about a negative thought like jealousy. Stay in a conversation with the great living depth from which these moods and feelings are coming. The work of loving yourself day to day is to outweigh those dark moods, to the way you might outweigh the turbulence on the water surface till you can once again see that there is clarity at the bottom, and then listen to what the depth has to say. I can see clearly now that is gone. So when we can stick long enough, we can find the truth waiting for us. The edge of the vastness. This is Mark Nepo in the endless practice. There is an important difference between peace as a moment of stillness or peace as a state of being. You were singing about that state of being peace. He said, peace as a state of being is the edge of a vastness that contains all our psychological habits. It's that peace that passes all understanding, as they say in the Bible. As joy holds all our feelings, peace holds all our psychologies. And like human fish, we fin our way through the eddies and the pools. Isn't that a nice little metaphor? We shimmy our way through the eddies and the pools, through the turbulent tides, looking for an expansive stretch of calm. No one knows exactly how to do this, but we each must try. So we're in this together, Babette, and we've got to swim our way and find the great secret that's hiding. As I mentioned earlier, he says, the older I get, the more I feel in any given moment. This means experiencing more than one feeling at a time. And even when one feeling is pronounced, others are right nearby. So this is the unifying experience of depth. We're asked to lean into this merging, not to resist it. I can feel happy and sad at the same time. I can feel clear and confused at the same time. I can feel pain and beauty at the same time. Because the current of experience, which never stops, wears the opening of the heart wider and deeper, so it can receive more of life all at once. And while this is challenging, it's really a very good thing. It brings us closer to the flow of our own aliveness. This too is good, and this too is for God, and I demand to see the blessing. You know, sometimes when you get older, your bodies have pain. Susie, you know what I'm talking about? But if I can breathe into that body and do a little stretching, I can feel that I'm loving the awareness around that. So the emotional maturity evolves. It often is against our own will. Where we begin to feel this inseparable totality of all feelings, there is a vastness from which the peace then arises. Uniforms our living soul with a lasting sense of being that softens the acuteness of each feeling experience at the surface. And what this means is that while we can't avoid the burn of experience that comes with pain, grief, and sadness or worry, if we feel it to the core, the burn can in time be transmuted into a warmth and a radiant light. Oh, there's that word light again. The dissipation of the fire goes into the light of appearance of peace. So we let go of the outer and we take it into the inner sense of this light, this little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. He talks about resolve to evolve here. As I grow older, my wonder widens and it softens. Don't you love the wonder? We never really get to the answers, Paula. We have to keep wondering. We're all the same awakening tribe. I'll drink to that. My awakening tribe. And this awakening never stops. There is nowhere else to go but here. Let the heart do its job. Let it protect us, not the other way around. We have this light within us. We have this heart within us. It is protecting us as we go through the many ups and downs of life. That's just the way it is. So he says, now, if pressed to speak of God from the place of wonder, I'd have to say that God is the one true world, the all-embracing ocean that is home to every fish. If pressed to speak of God from inside all that I've suffered, I'd have to say that God is the unnameable unity that continually brings us alive as possible, the way the sun makes everything grow. If pressed to comment on the human journey, I'd have to say that the soul is the common center of the universal spirit that seeds each human being. We're a spirit with a soul, not a soul with a body, which is why when the depths of our soul, we feel the kinship with all living things. We're all connected to one another. Oh, God. And then you feel that oneness, Maddie. No matter how we want to spare ourselves from the roughness of this ride, we can't bypass our human experience. It is the cocoon that releases our spirit. In our class on Wednesday, Mirabai spoke about how the butterfly has to be, it's a caterpillar that has to spin a cocoon, and then the caterpillar dissolves, and there is intelligence within the cells of that caterpillar that transform it into a butterfly. Then it has to eat out of the cocoon so that it can fly into a new experience. And that's a metaphor for what we get to do. So he's using the same metaphor. I wish for you and me this continued chance to learn from our heart so that we can awake enough to do small things with great love, and the strength of the heart to turn our sorrow that endures forever into a peace that abides for every moment. My vow remains the same as those before me, to stay committed, animated, obedient learner, and always asking, of what use and bridge can I be in this world? Use me, O God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. So he's working with that beautiful. And though we're battered about by the difficulties of life, the heart is only made more potent, condensed by our trials into something like a diamond. Our heart becomes this beautiful, luminous something through the trials and tribulations of life. And lastly, I wanted to go to my teacher, Llewellyn Von Lee. He's my Sufi teacher. This is his latest book, and it's called The Alchemy of Light, because he recognizes that all we are is light. We're light beings. And boy, I'm going to teach this in the summer. The light of the world knows that we are one. The light itself is a unity. The light of the world is present in every cell of existence. When we relate to this light within life, we relate directly to the wholeness of life. This is part of the power of the relationship of light to light. Nur ala nur, light upon light. And when our individual light relates to the world's light, which permeates everything in life, we have a direct access to all of life's interconnectedness and to all the archetypal structures that form this life, that are the riverbeds through which the waters of life flow. We place ourselves at the very center of life, the center that is everywhere, right now. And in this relationship of light to light, nothing is excluded. Nothing, Jack, is excluded. And because it is a relationship that belongs to oneness, to our essential unity and the unity of all life, this relationship is not an idea, but a living reality that has potential to bring about real change within existence. And at the very end of the book, he says, the paradoxical nature of the inner world, combined with the alchemical spark of this divine light, can produce strange and unexpected happenings and synchronicities. Holy cow, I wonder what that would be like. When the light of the individual meets the sacred substance of life, something mysterious takes place. A strange magic is born. Oh gosh, I just want to have more of those light experiences. And life sends its messengers into the darkness to remind us, to point us toward the dawn. The messengers always come as a song of hope, a note of remembrance, an inner call to prayer. We just need to be present and receptive so that we can hear it and respond to this call. It is difficult for us to realize how much is being given and how much is being prepared for this dawn. Could we open to this light? I remember when I was studying with Llewellyn, he said, it's not about you. It's never been about you. It's about the beloved. And the beloved is the light. So he's telling us to go to the light. And same thing in Christianity. As well as being receptive, we can bring our spiritual consciousness into life, into the flow of all creation. What does this mean, he asks. It means to hold an awareness of the divine nature of life and the whole of which we are all a part. The divine nature of life and the whole which we are all a part. Open a door that is normally kept closed, a door that leads to a creative participation in life just as it is with the living substance of creation and the forces that underlie all existence. Is this too big of an evolution, Megan? This suggests that an alchemy can take place that can change our image of existence, our dream of life, and more deeply, could change the very patterns of all creation, the riverbeds through which life flows, and that we have a role to play in that process. But in order to take part in this experiment in consciousness, we have to be prepared to be alive, to live our own divine spark, without knowing into what world we will be born. We make a commitment to live as the whole, and all its mysterious strangeness and all of its ordinariness. We do not know what will happen. We just know that there is a deep need for us to participate, to give ourselves, and to accept that life possesses wisdom and knowledge far beyond our present consciousness has. So we're evolving into the mystery of belonging to the universe if we say, yes, beloved, this life belongs to you. Lastly, he said, life is calling to us, and it is for each of us to hear and respond to this call in our own unique way. And this is all part of the most strange and wonderful love affair of life, and the life of our world, the one life that we've been given. There is but one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. So I'm going to close with this little prayer of John O'Donohue's. He's a poet. It's at the very, very end of his book. And see if you can take this poem prayer into your heart. It's an invitation. It's called The Blessing of Beauty. As stillness in stone to silence is wed, may your heart be somewhere a God might dwell. As a river flows in ideal sequence, may your soul discover time is presence. As the moon absolves the dark of distance, may thought light console your mind with a brightness. As the breath of light awakens color, may the dawn anoint your eyes with wonder. As spring rain softens the earth with surprise, may your winter places be kissed by light. As the ocean dreams to the joy of dance, may the grace of change bring you elegance. As clay anchors a tree in light and wind, may your outer life grow from peace within. As twilight fills night with bright horizons, may beauty await you at home beyond. Ooh. So shall we ring the bell, Jody, and do a little? Oh, okay. We're going to do a little collection first. And we're going to do a little song. Yeah.
Yep.
That would be nice. I asked Kelly and Bob to do this about the light, because we are all light beings.
I feel like singing this morning. I hope you do too, and I know you know this one. Hit it, Bob. Let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Last night, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woo. Okay. Well, let it shine. Okay. Thank you. That was wonderful. Miss Jody, you want to give us a little wake-up call? Ah, yes. A call to go home to the light. Call to be the light. A call to say yes to this sacred moment. And the magic Jack coming down to join Mommy Oh, what a blessed life we've been given. And so we open our grateful heart. This is the moment the Lord has made. I rejoice and am glad in it. This little light of mine has been awakened, and it's been called to shine everywhere I go. And so we say yes to this essential nature of our being, which is light and love. And we know that what we sow is what we reap. And so as we sow the light, we see the light. As we sow the love, we receive the love everywhere we go. So with a sweet intention to be here now, to be loved now, and to let our light shine, we take a deep inhalation. We give a sigh for the divine. We open our eyes and we form a penguin circle of love.